my passport. It says Sugrue on my license. I don't want to have to work, end up at like some security checkpoint, like getting,
Yeah, you're totally getting frisked.
frisked.
Just show him the ring. Look, I just got married.
Really, I just got married and it's kind of confusing right now.
Hi, I'm Susie Mordoh, and I am an event coach and a life planner. I sort of took the spin on the event planner life coach thing and decided that I wanted to create a video series that would be conversations with women that love what they do. And because I love talking to positive people that are inspired, they usually energize me with their stories. And I figured, why not put the video camera on? We'll have some conversations and maybe it'll spark something in somebody that's watching. So today I'm talking to my friend, Holly Gillen, who's formerly known as Holly Sugrue. She just came back from her honeymoon and is glowing from all the good experienced. So welcome, Holly. And before we get started, why don't you talk a minute about your walk down the aisle and what that was like?
Well, hi, Susie. Thanks for having me on the show. It was all that I dreamed of and more. But I set an intention before the day even started that no matter what happened, the cake fell on the floor, my shoe broke, whatever the case may be, I was going to have the greatest day of my life. And it truly was. It was one of the best days of my life.
That's awesome. What about your name? Are you thinking about changing your name? How are you, taking care of that?
So yeah, I actually just started the process yesterday. I went down to the Social Security office and, gave them my license and, did all, went through the motions. And in a few weeks, I will be Holly Gillen officially.
Fantastic. I will say, speaking from experience, I am married about 22 years now in a couple weeks, and I ripped it right off. I decided I waffled. I was working and everybody knew me from my last name, and I just decided to switch it. People would ask, oh, she just got married, and, off it went. It was really pretty smooth. You got like 4 to 6 months, and then it's over. So I like that.
But you're a go-to video gal.
There you go.
Yeah.
So tell us about what you're doing and how you got to the place where you love what you do.
So I'll give you the long short story. Picture this. Okay. Picture this. It's, 2007, 2008, the real estate market is not in a good place, especially in Florida where I was living at the time. And I was working as a licensed real estate agent and my broker's assistant and the office manager for the company that I had my license hung with. And things were coming to, not a good place. And I knew that I was going to be let go from my position. And I was coming to terms with that. And I was kind of okay because it wasn't something that I loved. And my broker, who was my mentor, my business mentor for a number of years, gave me a really great piece of advice. He said, do what you love and you'll never work another day in your life. And he truly loved what he did. And I was like, I want to love what I do. So when I was let go in March of 2008, I was at a crossroad. I was like, well, I can, go ahead and get another corporate type job and, make money and maybe I'll be happy, maybe I won't. Or I can use this as an opportunity to really kind of dig deep and figure out what it is that I'm passionate about, what it is that I want to bring to the world. What is it that's going to fill me up? That's going to, make me, love what I do. So I did, soul searching, and I realized that I'd always had an interest in photography, which transitioned into videography. And while I was unemployed and trying to figure it all out, I saw a commercial that had come across the TV one day. I was sitting in the living room for the Travel Channel Academy, which is a school that the Travel Channel had put together to teach people how to shoot and edit video travel channel style. And I was also kind of like thinking about traveling and seeing the world and really kind of making the most of both of those things. So I was like, this is perfect. Mm-hmm. So I took the course and loved it and knew, right from there that this was exactly what I wanted to be doing with my life. I had fallen in love. And shortly thereafter, I got an opportunity to travel around Mexico shooting a documentary. And I was like, well, of course I'll go, because what am I doing? I'm unemployed and I'm not doing anything. Of course I'll go, take this opportunity to learn more about film production and documentary, creating a documentary and traveling around around Mexico. And I did that for 9 weeks over the summer in 2008. Wow. And when I came home, I was fully it was a life-changing trip. I learned, how to rock climb. I learned how to surf. I learned a lot about myself because I was away from, everyday distractions and pretty much living out of a van and driving in these deserted roads in Mexico and just having the most amazing experiences. And I got home from that trip, still living in Florida at the time, met with every production company within a 50-mile radius of where I was living. And everybody's like, yeah, we're not really doing anything. We don't have anything going on. And I'm like, all right, well, I got to get out of here. So I took that as an opportunity to leave Florida and move back to New York, where I had grown up. And within 3 weeks of returning from Mexico, that's exactly what I did. I packed, put into storage, or sold everything I owned, and was full force ahead. And once I got to New York, I got a internship with a documentary production company and started just working my way into the industry, and realized very quickly that, yes, it's about what you know, but it's also about who you know.
Yeah.
Relationships in this business are very, it's a small, I like to say, New York is the biggest small town that there is, and everybody knows everybody, especially in these little niche industries. And people want to work with people that they know, they like, and, that they know, is a friend of theirs. So it's like creating this connection. So that's the long version of how I got into, doing what I love.
Well, what you do is very creative as well. And it's funny because I have that history back in commercial production and back in the day. So when I listen to you, I think, oh God, I remember what I was doing with that. But have you always thought of yourself as creative, or is it being creative in your work important to you?
Absolutely. I felt very stifled in the real estate industry and all of these, prior to that, these, corporate jobs that I had where, I was working for somebody else and doing things the way that they needed to be done in just a very black and white kind of way. And there really wasn't a lot of opportunity for me to express my creativity. And that was something, when I was standing at that crossroad, that was important to me. I needed a job that was going to allow me to be as creative as I wanted to be. And with film and video, it's never ending.
Okay, so you totally segued into the perfect. What I remember is editing can be endless. The hours, especially if you have a client behind your back and that's sitting in the room, even if you're delivering for someone else or for yourself, you can get lost in that edit room and not see the light of day. So, while you were in Mexico, you were hiking and having all these other great life experiences. How do you balance some of that in your day-to-day, or just overall? Do you sort of look at it as every day I want to get something in, or a week at a time, a month at a time? How does that go? And now you have a husband, so there's a whole other,
It's difficult for me to get away from my work because it's not work for me. I love what I do and I could do it endlessly. Mm-hmm. It never feels like I'm working when I work from home, and most of the time I'm sitting in this exact place, working on my computer, creating videos. And this is also my home office / home studio where I create all of my videos for my website. And I'm in here from the minute I get up till, my husband come home from work, and we have dinner together, and, but and then sometimes if he goes to bed early, I'm back in here, working away, because it never feels like work for me.
Yeah. This setup where I'm always, you've seen these videos where I'm sitting here. This is actually in the middle of my living room, and everyone says why do you have that? And part of it is, although I don't sit at my desk all day long because I'm running around, it's a way for me to still stay connected. And, when I'm shooting video, I tend to do it while everybody's out of the house, but that is, I get it, because I can be in front of this computer a lot. So that can be, pretty wacky. So based on where you are right now, anything you would have told your younger self? I wish I knew this a little bit earlier?
That's a great question. Mm-hmm.
And I only ask because sometimes that helps other women or people in a situation that like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Or maybe you just need a reminder, of something that.
I used to worry a lot, actually, and I'm glad I let that go. So I would tell my younger self to just stop worrying so much.
Right.
Just, relax and like appreciate, not that I don't appreciate now, but just relax and just stop worrying about the future and the past and just live in the moment.
Right. Well, one of my favorite quotes, which I should be able to cite who this is, but that's one of my weaknesses, is I remember things, but not who said them. So we're going to go with either Deepak Chopra or maybe the Dalai Lama.
Yes.
Their words were something like, worrying is like praying for what you don't want.
Exactly.
So you put, if energy goes to where your attention is, like, why would you put energy towards something you don't want? Because you're going to actually make it happen.
Exactly.
No, I like that. I try to tell my kids, they have no idea. They're
yeah,
like, oh.
But they'll get it, and when they get older, they'll look back and they'll appreciate you for it.
I hope.
Yeah, of course. And one of my like philosophies in life is it's only a mistake if you don't learn anything from it.
Exactly.
So I always try to, I don't think I make mistakes. I have learning experiences and opportunities to grow as a human being and as a person and change the way I either look at something, the way I do something. And I mean, just in general in life, but also in business, there's no straight line to success. Like there's a quote, and I love this quote. It says, "It took me a long time to become an overnight success."
Exactly.
And again, like I'm like you, like I don't know who said it, but it's something that really resonates with me.
and you can pull it up when you need it, but who really remembers? One of my first mentors in advertising back in the day, she used to say, "Chalk it up to one of life's learning experiences." And she would say that about everything. So there were no mistakes, just like
absolutely. It's only a mistake if you do it again and again and again. You don't learn anything from it. You just keep doing that same thing that doesn't get you where you want to go.
Exactly. So if you, let's say we were talking to women that maybe needed a little push, or, that hopefully they need that spark to push them to love what they do instead of just do what they do. Got anything to say to them?
Sure. Like your life, what you do is so much a part of your life and every aspect of your life that it really, once you start doing something that you love, you see the light and you can't ever go back.
Right.
So, I mean, it might be difficult to step out of something that's comfortable and maybe, paying the bills. But once you are able to free yourself from this mentality that I need to be this mold of society says I need to do this job, and that's I can't really like leave it and do anything else. Like, let that go. Just do what you love, and you never look back.
Right. Well, when you push sort of that comfort zone and the boundaries, you push them a little further, that's how you grow. Otherwise, you're just another year of the same experience, which I might say was something my dad told me. I actually remember that,
And when you're not doing something that you love, it really affects every other aspect of your life, because you come home and you're like, oh, I hate my job. And, and it turns into, I hate my life. And why would you want to live hating your life?
Exactly. So one of the things, one of the ways that I know Holly, which I will put out there, is that I participated in one of her video challenges, and which, had I not done it, I wouldn't probably be sitting here right now doing this. So I thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
But you have a sold out video challenge coming up. And why don't you tell us about how it works? And if somebody wanted to sign up for a future challenge, what would that be?
So it's a 15-day video challenge. And basically I give, it's meant for modern day online entrepreneurs who are looking to kind of incorporate video into their business, but really not sure where to start or have never been in front of the camera. So there's a lot of like fear and anxiety around that, and also fear and anxiety around visibility and putting yourself out there, and fear of judgment. So what the video challenge does is it kind of knocks all of these things down and really kind of lifts you up and puts you into a place where you can just let go of all those things, and you really feel good about what you're doing. You feel good about yourself, and you can start creating videos that you love. So over the course of 15 days, I give you video topics to discuss, and they're inspirational, upbeat, and then they kind of transition into more business side. So then you can kind of see I take you on a journey, and everything I do has there's a purpose and a reason for it. We start here because that's where we need to start, and we end here because that's where we need to end. So go on this 15-day journey, and by the end, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
I will say, what was so great, not only did I love, obviously you love to see your own progress, but the community you created was truly magical, because in this, as I'll explain, assuming that it's still running the same way, you would have a directive to shoot a video, and then you had to post it within this private group.
Yes.
So although, the world isn't seeing it, you're a little bit vulnerable in front of these other participants, but it's a window into your world. And by the end of the 15 days, you really get to know one another. And now I look at them as my video hero friends, my friends, really.
Exactly. And I say, and that's another, like, I'm getting the chills. That's another, aspect that I think is super important is the community and the supportive environment, but in the confines of that, so you just get an opportunity to kind of dip your toe in and see what it's like to put yourself out there. And like you said, you now feel like those are your video friends. That's a testament to exactly how and why creating video will work for you and your business. You create these relationships and these connections with people that you would not have had access to. And they start to feel like they know you and they're your friend. And I tell people, you're someone's reason to smile. Don't deny them.
Everyone inspires someone. So good.
Yeah.
So I do this little fun thing, and I actually didn't ask you whether or not you'd be freaked out by it, but we're just going to go for it. So one of the things I love are my angel cards. And so what I do is I have, cleared the deck, and I always like to pull a card, although you're going to, tell me where to pull it.
Yes.
And then I'm going to put it up. And I just want to hear what's the first thing that kind of comes to mind when you see it. And then I'll tell you what mine is. And if that bums you out, let's just think of this as one of life's learning experiences.
No way. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I want to see.
Okay. So now I'm going to put them up.
Yep.
I'm not looking, but then I'm going to sort of put my hand across. And when you tell me to stop, I'll pull one of the cards. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
This way, right?
Okay. Stop.
Okay. So it's going to be this card. And it says music.
Music.
Hmm.
Interesting. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Or what, when you saw the card, what do you think that's about? And then I'll tell you what I think it's about.
Maybe I need more music in my life.
Ah. So when I see this card, and then knowing that, the first thing I thought of when I was sort of your wedding bells, the music because you got married. But I'm a big fan of always letting the music in, so that should come into everything that you do. So whether it is your exercise or just playing the background music in your house because it brings life, to the environment, or your videos. That's like right off the bat. It's like that's the sort of like the cherry on the top, or maybe it's the base layer. I don't know, but it's somewhere in that mix of success.
Perfect.
That's kind of fun for me. Well, thank you for playing.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to say thank you for being here, and congratulations to you and Justin. And is there anything else you want to share, or?
Thanks. Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on, and it's been a pleasure to speak with you as always. I think that you're amazing, and I love your Tip Tuesday, your Event Tip Tuesday. Love your videos. If anybody's looking to get some more information about the Zero to Video Hero Challenge, you can go to zerotovideohero.com. Mm-hmm. And then my main website is videosbyholly.com.
Perfect. Well, you know how I'm going to end it, because I think that there is nothing better than what?
To raise each other up.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.